What up, y'all? Welcome to ChiTown 2.0. This ain't a fairy tale, y'all. This is real West Side energy, where the money talk loud, loyalty gets tested, and the streets don't give out second chances. This is the story of Tony ChiTown James, a hustler learning that every move come with a consequence. If you from the city, you gonna feel this. If you not, you about to learn. Let's get into it. Chapter 9, Snakes in the Grass. The photo lay on the kitchen table under the bright light. Rail and Tia walking into Arnie smiling, unaware there is a figure in the background holding a gun like it was a promise. So Mimi pacing the floor, Butterfly staring at the picture, jaws tight, Tia arms crossed, pretending to be calm, but her foot tapping. Real side still, eyes locked on that shadowy figure. ChiTown didn't speak for a whole minute. He just stared at the photo, breathing slow. He like, man, analyzing the situation. So he finally spoke. Somebody close to us told Mac T where we at. The kitchen went dead silent. The investigation begins. Ralph stabbed a finger at the photo. You think somebody in this house sending him all moves? ChiTown didn't answer. He didn't have to. Everybody looked around at one another, suspicion creeping in like the fog. We need to figure out who, Mimi said, folding her arms. But Butterfly was already thinking deeper. Whoever it is, they know where we work, they know where we live, and who we with. Her eyes flickered towards Tia, not accusing, just curious. Tia met her stare dead on. Don't look at me like that. I'm with Red. Being with somebody don't mean you loyal, Butterfly muttered. Red slammed his palm on the table. Watch your mouth, Butter. Butter didn't budge. I'm just saying. ChiTown stepped between them. This ain't about finger pointing. We gotta move smart, quiet, and careful. But his eyes was already scanning their faces, reading their energy and measuring their reactions. Somebody was guilty, even if they didn't show it just yet. Kiki enters the game. The next night, Mimi and Butterfly brought Kiki to the new apartment. Red bone, curly hair, slim, thick, and innocent looking. Bright eyes with dimples that disarmed men instantly. She sat on the couch across from ChiTown, knees together, hands folded. I appreciate the opportunity, she said softly. But can you handle this lifestyle? ChiTown asked. Kiki said, I can handle whatever I need to. Butterfly smirked. Yeah, she ready. Mimi handed Kiki a small purse with condoms, wipes, perfume, and a burner phone. Call us if anything goes sideways, Mimi said. Kiki nodded again. She looked timid, but there was a steel gaze in her eyes. She was ready. And hunger made people unpredictable. At Arnie's, bad vibes. Later that night, the girls hit Arnie's. The club was packed, lights low, music vibrating through the walls. Normal night. Men throwing money like it wasn't a recession on the south side. Shoot. Kiki did her dance, her first set. She killed it. Slow, sensual moves. That shy smile made men empty their pockets. Soft curls bouncing as she moved. But halfway through the second dance, Mimi noticed something. A tall man in a gray hoodie sitting at a bar. No drinks, no tips. He just watching Kiki, watching Mimi, watching the whole crew. So Butterfly slide up on him. You see him too, right? Yeah, Mimi whispered back. When they eyes met the man's eyes, he looked away too fast. That was a red flag for Mimi. Let's go, she said. Now, tonight, no slip ups. Shy and real, a new target. Back at the West Loop apartment, Chi-Town and Real sat on the balcony watching the city breathe the smoke. They chill. I got dreams, bro, Chi-Town said. And I ain't gonna block your hustle. Build your team. Real pause. Nod slowly. Okay, you running your stable, I'll run mine. And we don't cross lines, Chi-Town said. Loyalty, right? Real smirked. Chi-Town grabbed his shoulder. Always. But something moved in the shadows across the street. Silhouette, watching. Chi-Town eyes narrowed. You see that? Real leaned forward like, yeah. They headed inside. The war was coming to their doorstep. Again. Tia's late night phone call. So around 2 a.m. when everybody else fell asleep, Tia stepped out onto the balcony with her burner phone. She dialed a number she never saved. A voice answered, no hello. That's him, Tia whispered. Chi-Town, and he ain't alone. The voice asked something quietly. Tia's voice dropped to a whisper. I told you, I'm in. Just move slow. Real can't know. She entered the car, her heart racing. Then she turned and saw Butterfly watching from the doorway. Tia froze. Butterfly didn't speak. She didn't blink. She just stared. Then she walked away without a word. And that was worse than if she had screamed. The next night, Chi-Town, Real, Mimi, Butterfly, Tia, and Kiki all returned to Honest. Everybody was tired. Everybody was tense. Everybody wanted to go to sleep. As they crossed the parking lot towards the building, Mimi suddenly stiffened. Chi-Town, something wrong. Chi-Town scanned the parking lot. Everything looking normal. Too normal. That's when the headlights came on. The black SUV, engine revving, windows tinted, real curse. Not here. Chi-Town grabbed Mimi's wrist. Run. The SUV sped towards them real fast. Butterfly screamed. Kiki dropped her purse. Tia stood frozen. Rail pulled Tia behind the concrete block outside of Onyx by that pole. Chi-Town drew his gun. The SUV speeded to a halt, doors fly open. Men jumped out with pipes and guns, baby. They was ready. Mac T sent his love. Shots sprang out. Chi-Town grabbed Mimi and shoved her behind the car. Real started busting back. Kiki crawled under a parked vehicle. Butterfly dragged Mimi by her jacket. Chaos, screams, gunflight, metal hitting the pavement. It was going down. Chi-Town returned fire. Hearts pounding. One shooter dropped. Another one ducked. A third one aimed at Real. Real, move, Chi-Town screamed. Real dove right as the bullet cracked the concrete right behind her. Sirens wailed in the distance. The attackers sprinted right back into the SUV, jumped in, and peeled out. Bam! Boom! Silence fell over the parking lot. Oh my God, right? Mimi crawled out shaking. Butterfly checking Kiki out, make sure she ain't wounded. Tears staring at the ground, breathing fast. Will stood up slowly, chest heaving, eyes wild. Chi-Town looked around at everybody, you know, bruised, shaking, and terrified. We gotta move again, Butterfly whispered. No, Chi-Town said coldly. We gotta end this. Everybody froze. But first, he turned towards Tia, eyes dark. What was you running to when them shots got fired? When them shots first started getting fired? Tia eyes wide. Real step between them, shy. Chi-Town's voice dropped to a growl. She knew something. She knew. Tia's hand shook, but she ain't answer. Butterfly stared at her, jaw clenched, remembering that phone call. Mimi stepped back. Kiki covered her mouth, real face twisted with confusion and betrayal. Tia, baby, tell them. Tia swallowed hard, opened her mouth, and before she could speak, a bullet shattered through the building in the front of the window. Everybody ducked. Another shot. Then a voice echoed through the lie. You can't hide forever, Shaq. I'm coming for all of y'all. Mac T, he was close. Too close. And he wasn't done yet. Oh, yeah. End of chapter 9. That's it for y'all. But don't get too comfortable. This story just warming up. And the streets always got another move waiting, and ChiTown ain't done yet either. So if you felt this chapter, stay tuned, stay tapped in, because what's coming next is way more real. Same energy, same city, same consequences. This is ChiTown 2.0. Please like, subscribe, and share my YouTube channel, The Culture Connects.